7:13 a.m. Two police cruisers in my driveway, lights flashing, the lead cop's hand hovering near his belt like I'm some kind of threat. I'm holding a coffee mug with the Army Corps of Engineers logo, standing on the property I bought 6 months ago, paid in full, deed in hand. And HOA President Deidre Kensington is 40 feet back, arms crossed, smirking behind her designer sunglasses like she just won the lottery. 4 hours earlier, she'd called 911. Told them there was a dangerous, possibly armed squatter refusing to leave. Classic swatting move. Except I'm a 54-year-old veteran who just wanted to build a workshop in peace. The morning air smelled like fresh-cut grass and Deidre's desperation. What she didn't know? I had the one piece of paper that was about to flip her entire world upside down. What would you do if someone tried to get you arrested on your own land? Drop a comment. Where are you watching from? Let's see how many HOA nightmares are out there. My name's Garrett Hollins, 54, divorced, 2 kids in college and med school, 20 years in the Army Corps of Engineers before I started a civil engineering consultancy here in Tulsa. I'm not the kind of guy who goes looking for trouble. I've had my fill of that overseas. 6 months ago, I bought 3.2 acres on the edge of Pinewood Estates subdivision. The plan was simple: build a workshop, convert the detached garage into a machine shop, have a place where my kids could visit without tripping over their mom's new boyfriend. The property's gorgeous. A 150-year-old oak tree dominates the front yard. Its branches creak like an old sailing ship when the wind picks up. Inside my half-finished workshop, the air smells like sawdust and motor oil, and every surface has a fine coating of metal shavings that glints in the afternoon sun. Here's the thing. When I bought this land, it was outside the Pinewood Estates HOA boundaries. I've got a 2018 survey proving it. The property line ends 200 feet east of my driveway. I made damn sure before signing anything because I've heard the horror stories. HOAs fining people for garden gnomes, liens for the wrong mailbox color. Pinewood Estates is your standard upper-middle-class suburb. 127 homes, built 2015 to 2019. HOA dues at $385 a month. But 6 months ago, right when I closed, the HOA quietly filed paperwork with the county to correct boundaries, pulling my land into their jurisdiction without notice. No certified letter, no hearing, just bureaucratic theft. That's when I met Deidre Kensington, 49, real estate agent, HOA president for 18 months. Picture someone who wears pastel blazers like battle armor and says community standards the way cult leaders say divine will. Her voice has the pitch and warmth of a table saw cutting sheet metal. She drives a white Lexus RX vanity plate HOA QN because apparently irony is dead. Stories about Deidre circulate like legend. Liens on homes for unauthorized garden gnomes, fines for kids' chalk art, foreclosures over late fees. I also noticed she's cold to the 3 black families in the neighborhood, dismissive of Ruben Cortez, my neighbor, retired Latino machinist, and generally treats anyone without a white-collar job like they're trespassing on her country club. Week 1 after I moved in, I get a certified letter. The envelope has that waxy, official texture. The paper inside smells faintly of cheap toner and entitlement. $2,500 fine for an unapproved structure. My garage, which existed before their HOA, claimed my land. I respond via email with my survey, deed, and a legal opinion from my paralegal buddy. I'm not in your HOA. Week 3. Deidre appears in person. Clipboard, designer sunglasses, photographing my property like she's Sherlock Holmes solving a murder. Threatens a lien. Says I'm setting a bad precedent. I tell her to leave. Week 5, new letter, $5,000 plus $150 in daily penalties. Mentions legal action and foreclosure proceedings. I dealt with insurgents in Fallujah who negotiated in better faith. My neighbor Ruben brought over beer that night. 60-something thinks the HOA is clowns with clipboards. He said, "They're bleeding you dry, brother. That's the game. Make fighting so expensive you quit." I called Lucia Brennan, local attorney, sharp, early 40s. I'd helped her mother with a drainage issue for free. She owed me. "Boundary annexation without notice?" Lucia said. "That's not just wrong, Garrett. That's fraud." Then there's Travis and Mallory Kent, young couple already fighting $8,000 in fines for installing a swing set. I realized Deidre isn't just targeting me. She's running a scam on 127 families, so I ignored her letters. I was legally right. That's when she went nuclear. She filed a police report. Claimed I was trespassing on HOA common area, my own driveway, and that I'd verbally threatened her. Total lie, which is how I ended up with 2 cops in my driveway at 7:13 a.m. while Deidre stood back, smirking, waiting for me to get arrested. In that moment, I understood. This wasn't about fines. Deidre was setting me up for something worse. So there I am, 7:13 a.m., two cops walking up my driveway. The lead officer is Sergeant Pacheco, mid-40s, built solid, hand hovering near his belt. His partner's younger, nervous, scanning my property like I'm running a cartel. I stay calm, hands visible, coffee mug in one hand. 20 years in the Army teaches you how to de-escalate before things get stupid. "Morning, officers," I say. "I'm guessing Deidre Kensington called this in?" Pacheco nods, pulls out a notepad. "We got a report of trespassing on HOA common property. Also a claim you verbally threatened the HOA president. Your side?" I set my coffee down. "Happy to. But first, can I show you some paperwork?" I go inside, slowly, announcing every move, and grab my folder. Survey, deed, title insurance, email chain with Deidre, even a dash cam still frame from week 3 showing her on my property uninvited. I lay it all out on the hood of Pacheco's cruiser. The metal's still cool from the morning air, and the paperwork makes a crisp shuffling sound as he flips through page by page. He takes his time, radios something in, checks the survey against the county plat map on his phone. 5 minutes pass. Deidre's still 40 feet back, arms crossed, tension radiating off her like heat from asphalt. Finally, Pacheco looks up. "Ma'am," he calls out, "this is a civil dispute, not criminal trespass. Mr. Hollins has documentation showing his property boundary. You'll need to resolve this through the courts." Her mask cracks. She stalks forward, heels clicking. "Excuse me? I pay your salary through my taxes, and you're telling me you won't enforce—" Pacheco cuts her off, voice flat. "Ma'am, I don't enforce HOA bylaws. If you believe he's in violation of a civil contract, hire a lawyer." She sputters, spins on her heel, and marches to her Lexus. Yanks the door so hard I'm surprised the hinges hold. She peels out, tires squealing. The smell of burnt rubber hangs in the air for a solid 10 seconds. Pacheco watches her go, shakes his head, hands me his card. "Mr. Hollins, off the record, document everything. Every interaction, every letter, every time she shows up. I've seen HOAs pull this before. Next time, she might embellish more. Protect yourself." I thank him. The cruisers leave. And I'm standing there realizing, Deidre just tried to weaponize law enforcement against me. This wasn't about dues anymore. This was about forcing me into submission or bankrupting me with legal fees. I call Lucia Brennan. She picks up on the second ring. I explain what happened. The police, the false report, Pacheco's warning. There's a pause. Then, "Garrett, she just flirted with malicious prosecution. If she's willing to lie to police, she'll lie in court. I'm taking your case. Pro bono for now." First move. Lucia sends a cease and desist to the HOA, demands they rescind all fines and threats, warns that further harassment means a lawsuit for malicious prosecution and abuse of process. She also files a formal complaint with the county about the improper boundary amendment. Oklahoma law requires certified mail to affected landowners when boundaries change. I never got one. That makes the annexation void. Here's your first knowledge nugget. If your HOA tries to expand its boundaries, check your state's laws. Most require proper notice, and without it, the change is legally unenforceable. Deidre's response comes fast. Ruben hears she called an emergency board meeting that afternoon. Her spin: "This squatter is attacking our authority with frivolous legal threats. If we back down, every homeowner will stop paying dues." The board, 4 spineless yes-men terrified of her, votes to pursue all legal remedies. Translation: they're doubling down. 2 days later, I'm at the hardware store when Travis and Mallory Kent approach me. Mallory's holding their toddler. Travis looks exhausted. "Garrett, we heard you got a lawyer. Can she help us too?" Turns out, 9 families are underwater on HOA fines. One elderly couple faces foreclosure over a $12,000 lien that started as $400 in late fees. I realize this is bigger than my property line. Deidre's running a scam on 127 families. That night, Ruben and I sit on my porch with beers. "You know what Deidre's problem is?" I say. "She's got HOA president syndrome, like mall cop energy but with a gavel and a vengeance." Ruben snorts. "Nah, man, she's got yacht club energy in a kiddie pool subdivision. She thinks she's running the Hamptons, but it's Tulsa, and nobody's impressed." I'm laughing when my phone buzzes. Unknown number. A photo of my truck parked at Home Depot earlier that day. Caption: "We're watching." I show Lucia. She tells me to install cameras immediately. But here's the thing. I'd fought actual threats overseas, IEDs, ambushes, people who genuinely wanted me dead. This suburban Mean Girls reboot wasn't going to rattle me, but it did piss me off. Week 7. The HOA files a lawsuit in county court. Declaratory judgment to enforce covenants. Their angle. Even if my land was outside the original boundaries, the corrected plat map filed 6 months ago is legally binding. They've hired Conrad Trimble, a strip mall attorney in his 60s who wins through default judgments and intimidation. Guy probably advertises on bus benches. Lucia responds with a motion to dismiss plus counterclaim. Fraud, harassment, abusive process. Discovery begins. She subpoenas HOA financial records, meeting minutes, everything. And here's where it gets good. The corrected plat map was never properly noticed. Oklahoma law requires certified mail to affected landowners. I got nothing. The annexation is void. Second knowledge nugget. Always check if legal notices were properly served. Improper service can invalidate contracts, liens, even lawsuits. No certified mail? They might have no case. But Deidre doesn't care about legalities. She cares about crushing me. The harassment ramps up. HOA sends inspectors, Deidre's real estate cronies, to photograph my property bi-weekly. I wake up one morning to orange code violation stickers plastered on my mailbox, garage door, even my truck. The stickers smell like cheap adhesive and spite, leaving a gummy residue that takes WD-40 and 20 minutes of scrubbing to remove. Ruben catches one inspector on camera using my trash cans as a stepladder to photograph over my fence. Trespassing. I install 6 security cameras, upload everything to cloud storage, start a Google Doc logging every interaction, every letter, time-stamped and cross-referenced. Lucia says, "Discovery is beautiful. Let's see how clean their hands are." Spoiler, they're filthy. Her paralegal finds $140,000 missing from HOA financials. Vague line items, administrative fees, community enhancement consulting. Cross-reference meeting minutes. Deidre's LLC was paid $18,000 for property management services, but the HOA already pays a management company. This isn't petty tyranny. This is embezzlement. Mallory Kent hosts a secret backyard meeting. 11 families show up with horror stories. One couple fined $3,000 for solar panels, which Oklahoma law explicitly protects. An elderly widower threatened with foreclosure over $400 that ballooned to $6,000 in interest and legal costs. I propose a coalition, maybe class action. Lucia, attending incognito, says, "I can work with this." Deidre hears about the meeting. One attendee's spouse is on the board. Emergency vote. Anyone organizing against the HOA gets special assessment fees of $1,000 per month until compliance. I get the notice next day. So do Travis, Mallory, and 4 others. Extortion dressed as parliamentary procedure. Late one night, my doorbell camera captures someone spray painting "deadbeat" across my garage door. Footage shows a white Lexus RX in the background, license plate partially visible. I send clips to Lucia and Sergeant Pacheco. Pacheco replies, "That's vandalism. File a report. I'll increase patrol presence." I file it. Upgrade to 24/7 monitoring. The spray paint smells like chemical solvent and desperation when I scrub it off next morning. The rough garage door texture catching on the rag with every stroke. My daughter texts, "Dad, are you okay? Mom says you're in some legal thing." I downplay it, but internally I'm furious. Deidre's tactics are affecting how my family sees me. I'm up at 3 a.m. cross-referencing documents. Sleep's optional now. Then Lucia calls. "Garrett, I've been digging into property transactions in Pinewood Estates. You need to see this." She sends a spreadsheet. 3 properties foreclosed by the HOA in 2 years were bought at auction by Deidre's LLC and board members' family trusts. Purchase prices, 40 to 50% below market. Patterns clear. Family gets fined, can't pay, foreclosure, insiders buy cheap, flip for profit. This isn't just embezzlement. This is a predatory scheme, possibly racketeering. Lucia files an amended counterclaim adding federal RICO allegations. Contacts Oklahoma Real Estate Commission. Deidre's license could be revoked. Strategic pivot. Lucia, we go public. Civil court drags for years. Media pressure works fast. I hesitate. I'm private, ex-military, hate attention. Mallory volunteers. I'm a freelance journalist. Let me pitch the Tulsa Gazette. Deidre hears we found the foreclosure pattern. Emergency meeting, motion to settle, drop all fines, remove lien, if I sign an NDA and release claims. Trimble delivers via Zoom. Your client should take this. Discovery gets ugly for everyone. I laugh in his face. Tell Deidre I don't negotiate with con artists. See you in court. Internally, I know. Deidre offering to settle means she's scared. Discovery is working. That night, Ruben brings over beer. You know what's wild? Deidre runs this HOA like a cartel, but she probably thinks she's the hero. I take a sip. Every villain does, Ruben. Every villain does. My phone buzzes. Certified letter notification. Not from the HOA, from a title company. Notice of foreclosure sale. Pinewood Estates HOA Common Property. I speed read. The HOA itself is being foreclosed on by a bank holding a $1.2 million construction loan from 2019. Payments haven't been made in 18 months. Auction in 30 days. My engineer brain lights up. Wait, if the HOA loses its common property, what happens to its legal standing? I call Lucia. I just figured out how to buy the HOA. Week 10. The HOA places a lien on my property, even though the annexation's being contested. Trimble argues it's standard procedure during disputes. The judge allows it temporarily, which means I can't refinance or sell. My equity's frozen. Deidre's playing financial hostage taker. The real damage is psychological. She launches a whisper campaign, tells neighbors I'm a troublemaker, litigious, don't respect community values. Posts on the Pinewood Estates Facebook group, private, 200 members. Reminder, unpaid dues and fines are every member's responsibility. Freeloaders hurt us all. Doesn't name me, doesn't have to. 3 neighbors who used to wave now cross the street. My son calls. Dad, Mom said you're in legal trouble? I downplay it. But internally, I'm furious. Sleep becomes optional. I'm up at 3 a.m., mapping strategies, drinking too much coffee. So I do what engineers do, analyze. I pull county records on every Pinewood Estates property transaction for 5 years, cross-reference dates, buyers, prices, and there it is. 3 foreclosed properties bought at auction by Deidre's LLC and board members' family trusts. Prices, 40 to 50% below market. Pattern surgical. Family gets fined, can't pay, foreclosure, insider buys cheap, flips within 6 months at full price. Profit margins between 80 and 120 grand per property. This isn't embezzlement, this is organized fraud. I call Lucia at 6 a.m. Garrett, if we prove conspiracy, that's federal RICO. Mail fraud, wire fraud, everything. She files an amended counterclaim immediately. Contacts Oklahoma Real Estate Commission. Deidre's license is now under investigation. Third knowledge nugget. RICO laws aren't just for mobsters. If someone's running a pattern of fraud through an organization, even an HOA, federal racketeering charges can apply. It turns civil cases into criminal exposure. Lucia's advice? Go public. Civil courts slow. Media pressures fast. I hesitate. I'm private, ex-military, hate attention. Mallory volunteers. I'm a freelance journalist. Let me pitch the Tulsa Gazette. This is exactly their kind of story. I agree. Deidre hears we've documented the foreclosure scheme. Emergency board meeting. Motion to settle. Drop all fines. Remove lien. Clean slate. If I sign an NDA and release all claims. Trimble delivers via Zoom. Mr. Hollins, you should seriously consider this. Discovery gets ugly for everyone. I stare at the camera. Laugh. Tell Deidre I don't negotiate with con artists. See you in court. Lucia's grinning. Settlement offers mean she's cornered. We organize a second community meeting. 22 families show up, double the first time. The VFW hall smells like stale coffee and old wood polish. Folding chairs squeak as people lean forward, hungry for hope. Lucia explains in plain English. If we prove the foreclosure scheme was intentional, we might void those sales. Get people their homes back. One elderly woman in back breaks down crying. I lost my house 2 years ago, thought I was alone. I stand. You're not alone. None of us are. Ruben's nodding in back. Travis takes notes. Mallory records audio. It feels less like a meeting, more like a reckoning. Late that night, Ruben texts a screenshot. Fake Facebook profile. Pinewood truth teller. Posting lies. Garrett Hollins is a con man working with out-of-state investors to displace families. Photoshopped documents, fake names, going viral. My phone explodes with confused messages. Travis traces the IP within an hour. Deidre's home network. Mallory writes a follow-up. HOA president behind fake social media smear campaign. Screenshots, metadata, everything. Facebook removes the account. Deidre's credibility craters. But I know what this means. She's desperate. Cornered. Morning of the auction hearing, 7:15 a.m. I'm on my porch with coffee when Deidre's Lexus pulls up. She gets out. No makeup, hair messy, first time I've seen her not camera ready. 2 board members flank her. She approaches. Garrett, please, I'll resign. We'll drop everything. Just don't buy the property. Let someone neutral take it. Her voice cracks. I set my coffee down. Neutral? Like one of your LLC buddies who'll flip it and screw over 127 families? She's trembling now. You don't understand. If you do this, I lose everything. My reputation, my license, my business. I look her in the eye. You should have thought about that before you turned this neighborhood into your personal ATM. The morning air is cool, almost crisp. The The courthouse limestone will smell faintly of rain from last night. Deidre's perfume, usually overwhelming, is absent. She smells like stale coffee and fear. 7:45 a.m. Two men in suits approach. One's Trimble's son, also a lawyer. They imply, "You sure you want to do this?" People who mess with the wrong folks find their business prospects drying up. I'm former military, unfazed. "Are you threatening me on courthouse property in front of witnesses?" Ruben's nearby, phone recording. "Yeah, are you?" They retreat. Lucia files harassment complaint immediately. 8 a.m. sharp, auction begins. Auctioneer reads legal description. Opening bid, $850. I raise my paddle. $875. Silence. No other bidders. "Going once, twice," Deidre shouts from the crowd. "This is illegal. He's not even in the HOA. Auctioneer. "Ma'am, this is a public auction. Anyone can bid. Sold to bidder 7 for $875,000. I hand over the cashier's check. Receive preliminary deed. TV crew interviews me. "How does it feel?" I look at the camera. It feels like justice. I'm standing on courthouse steps, deed in hand, when the full picture clicks. Let me explain what I just bought and why it changes everything. Pinewood Estates common areas, clubhouse, pool, playground, entrance monuments, detention ponds are owned by the HOA as an entity. 22 acres. But here's what nobody knows. In 2019, when the developer went bankrupt mid-construction, the HOA took out a loan to finish amenities. $1.2 million, secured by the common property. Interest-only payments for 5 years. Balloon payment due 2024. They missed it. The bank filed foreclosure quietly. Non-judicial. In Oklahoma, that means no courtroom, just public notice and auction. Most homeowners had no clue. I call Lucia from my truck. She's already connecting dots. You own the land now, but not the HOA's authority. However, Oklahoma law lets the common area owner dissolve an HOA if 75% of homeowners agree, or if it's insolvent. I hear typing. Proving insolvency, easy. Defaulted $1.2 million loan, $200,000 in legal judgments, $250,000 embezzled. They're bankrupt. Here's the play. Prove insolvency, petition court to dissolve the HOA, then deed the common areas to a new community land trust, nonprofit, democratically governed, transparent. Everything the HOA should have been. Problem, I needed $875. I had $200 liquid, 20 years of savings. I call my brother Caleb in Texas, commercial developer. I need a bridge loan, $400,000, fast. Pause. What's the play? I explain everything. Another pause. That's the most Garrett thing I've ever heard. I'm in. That leaves $275. Mallory's article drops in the Tulsa Gazette next day. HOA president accused of fraud as neighborhood faces foreclosure. It's detailed, devastating, goes viral. Local TV picks it up, then Oklahoma City. By evening, Reddit's front page. I set up GoFundMe, save Pinewood Estates, stop HOA corruption. Goal, $250 for auction gap plus legal fees. Within 72 hours, $180,000. Donations flood in nationwide. People who fought their own HOA battles, people who hate injustice, people who see themselves in this. Deidre sees the article. Her phone explodes. Board members resign. Homeowners demand her removal. She tries calling emergency meetings to stop the auction, but the bank controls it now. Trimble quits. I don't represent criminals. Find someone else. Lucia connects me with a nonprofit attorney specializing in community land trusts. We draft the charter, Pinewood Commons Trust. Mission, maintain common areas, enforce reasonable standards, no cosmetic tyranny, operate transparently. 7 elected board seats, 2-year terms, limits, open meetings streamed online. Everything an HOA should be. Here's your knowledge nugget. Community land trusts are legal structures where land is owned collectively and governed democratically. They prevent both HOA tyranny and gentrification. Google CLT model for your state. Auctions in 18 days. Financing's lined up, legal strategy set, communities rallying. But Lucia warns, she's cornered, Garrett. Cornered animals are dangerous. I know, I've been in enough fights. The most dangerous moment is right before the enemy breaks. 2 days later, I'm in my workshop when my phone buzzes. Detective Morrison from the DA's office. Mr. Hollins, we've reviewed the evidence your attorney submitted. We're issuing a warrant for Deidre Kensington's arrest. Felony embezzlement, fraud, perjury. You know where she is? I don't. She disappeared after the auction. House is up for sale, $50,000 below market. Morrison, we'll find her. Meantime, beef up security. People facing prison get unpredictable. I upgrade to 24/7 monitoring. Ruben offers to keep watch. The court hearings tomorrow. Dissolution petition. Deidre's invited. Something tells me she won't show. But if she does, I'll be ready. The next 48 hours are pure logistics. I'm not doing this alone. I've assembled a team, and each person brings something critical. Lucia Brennan handles legal, auction paperwork, dissolution petition, trust document coordination. Her strategy's surgical. Prove HOA debts exceed assets. Show embezzlement. Demonstrate homeowner support for dissolution. Oklahoma statute. Title 47, Section 11, 109 allows dissolution if the common property owner petitions and the HOA's insolvent. The law's on our side. Mallory Kent runs media strategy. 2 follow-up articles published. Documentary producer from California calling. Social media pressure mounting. Every share brings more donations. GoFundMe's at 210 now. Ruben Cortez is boots-on-ground intelligence, monitoring board reactions, calming homeowners, making sure I eat real food instead of surviving on coffee. Travis Kent handles tech, built secure website for the future trust, transparent budgeting, meeting minutes within 48 hours, live-streamed meetings. He's managing GoFundMe and encrypted coalition communications. My brother Caleb wired $400,000, advises on asset protection post-purchase. Sergeant Pacheco, off record. If she destroys files or wipes servers, that's obstruction. Document everything. Now the legal strategy in plain terms. Step 1. I won the auction. I own common property. Step 2. Lucia files motion proving HOA insolvency. Defaulted $1.2 million loan, $200,000 in judgments, $250,000 embezzled. Step 3. Petition court to dissolve HOA. Judge appoints receiver to wind down affairs. Step 4. I deed property to Pinewood Commons Trust for $1, symbolic. Trust governed by 7-member board elected by homeowners, 1 home, 1 vote, no proxies. Takeaway. In many states, an insolvent HOA is a house of cards. 1 legal push, and it collapses. Research your state's nonprofit dissolution laws. You might have more power than you think. We're preparing for Deidre's sabotage. Lucia warns she'll delete records, hide money, obstruct. Our countermeasures. Travis scraped the HOA website via Wayback Machine, archived everything. Lucia subpoenaed bank statements before Deidre can move funds. Mallory interviewed 3 former board members, affidavits documenting Deidre's schemes secured. Community prep is critical. I rent the VFW hall, host 3 town halls over the week. Attendance grows. 50 families first night, 82nd, over 100 third. I explain what's next. HOA dissolves. Dues drop to 0 temporarily. New trust takes over. We vote on reasonable fees. Maybe $45 monthly for pool, landscaping, insurance. No more fines for garden gnomes. No more mailbox color tyranny. No more Deidre. The VFW hall smells like fresh coffee and hope now. Folding chairs still squeak, but people lean back, smiling, asking real questions instead of crying. One elderly man asks, "What if an investor outbid you?" I'm honest. They'd have jacked fees or sold piecemeal. We got lucky. But luck only works if you're prepared. Topics covered. What happens if I win dissolution? HOA ceases to exist. Trust takes over. What if a vulture won the auction? Likely exploitation. How to vote for dissolution. Simple majority after insolvency declared. The room's full of people beaten down for years. Now they're believing change is possible. One woman stands. My husband and I almost lost our home over $1,800 in fines. We stopped sleeping, stopped talking to neighbors. You're giving us our lives back. Her voice breaks. I don't have words, just nod. Ruben squeezes my shoulder. This is why we're fighting. We also run financial education. Knowledge nugget 2, foreclosure auctions. Most people don't know non-judicial foreclosures. Common in Oklahoma, Texas, California, Arizona. Don't require lawsuits. Just public notice. You can buy properties at courthouse steps with cashier's check. Research trustee sale in your state. Knowledge nugget 3, community land trusts. Legal structures where land's owned collectively, governed democratically. Prevents HOA tyranny and gentrification. Google CLT model for your area. Night before the hearing, I'm in my workshop. Lathe humming, not working on anything, just letting hands move, brains settle. I think about why I'm doing this. Not revenge, not even about Deidre anymore. About systems. Systems shouldn't crush people, should serve them. My ex said I was too mission-focused. Maybe, but this mission matters. I text my kids, "Big day tomorrow, wish me luck." Daughter replies, "Dad, we're so proud. Go be the hero we know you are." Son sends Captain America gif. I smile. Ruben shows up with beer. For after the hearing, win or lose. I crack one. "If we lose, I'll need stronger." He grins. "Got tequila in the truck, brother. Hearing's 9 a.m. tomorrow. I've got notes, documents, team." Deidre's invited but probably won't show. If she does, Lucia handles her. One thing nags me though. Lucia's warning echoes. Cornered animals are dangerous. Deidre's facing prison, bankruptcy, public humiliation. What's her play? Does she even have one left? I upgrade my security cameras, double-check locks, sleep with phone by the bed, because I know from experience the most dangerous moment in any fight is right before your enemy realizes they've lost. And tomorrow, Deidre's going to realize exactly that. 4 p.m., day before the hearing. Lucia calls. Trimble just filed emergency injunction on behalf of concerned homeowners, trying to delay dissolution, claiming it violates homeowner rights. I check my watch. How fast can you get to courthouse? She's already driving. 20 minutes. Emergency hearing at 6 p.m. Judge's chambers, fluorescent lights buzzing. Trimble shows up exhausted. Turns out he never quit, just told Deidre he did while still collecting checks. His argument's incoherent. Claims trust violates non-existent covenants. Cites Arizona case law that doesn't apply in Oklahoma. Lucia dismantles him in 10 minutes. Your Honor, this is transparent stalling by defendants facing fraud charges. The bank had every right to foreclose. Mr. Hollins had every right to bid. Delaying serves no purpose except prolonging abuse. Judge Vickers, mid-50s, former public defender, zero patience, peers over her glasses. Counsel, your injunction is denied. This court will not interfere with lawful foreclosure. We're adjourned. Gavel down. The courtroom door slams with a metallic bang echoing off marble walls. Deidre storms out. That night, fake Facebook profile appears. Pinewood Truth Teller. Posts flood the neighborhood group. Garrett Hollins is a con man working with California investors to gentrify and displace families. Photoshopped LLC documents. Fake names. Going viral. My phone explodes. Is this true? Are you selling us out? Travis traces IP within an hour. Deidre's home network. Mallory writes article. HOA president behind fake social media smear. Screenshots, metadata, timestamps. Facebook removes account by morning. Deidre's credibility is ash. 7:15 a.m. hearing day. I'm on my porch when her Lexus pulls up. She gets out, no makeup, hair messy, first time without armor. 2 board members flank her like hostages. She approaches, heels clicking, voice shaking. Garrett, please, I'll resign. Drop everything. Just don't go through with this. Let someone neutral buy the property. I set coffee down. Neutral? Like your LLC buddies who'll flip for profit? Her hands tremble. You don't understand. If you do this, I lose everything. My reputation, my license, my business. I look her in the eye. You should have thought about that before you turned 127 families into your ATM. The morning air's cool. Deidre's perfume, usually suffocating, is absent. She smells like stale coffee and fear. She tries again. I made mistakes, but destroying me won't fix anything. I shake my head. I'm not destroying you. I'm making sure you can't destroy anyone else. She stands frozen, then walks to her car. Doesn't peel out, just drives away slowly, like heading to a funeral. 7:45 a.m. courthouse steps. 2 men in suits approach. One's Trimble's son lawyer, others built like a bouncer. They position too close. Mr. Hollins, the son says low, you sure about this? People who mess with wrong folks find business prospects drying up, permits delayed, clients disappearing. Understand? I'm ex-Army, been in firefights. These suburban tough guys don't register. Are you threatening me on courthouse property in front of witnesses? Ruben's nearby, phone recording. Yeah, are you? They exchange glances. Realize they miscalculated. Back off. Just friendly advice. They leave. Lucia's filing harassment complaint before we walk inside. Courtroom's packed. 60 homeowners in gallery. 3 TV crews. Mallory live tweeting. Energy's electric. Our side, Lucia, nonprofit attorney. Caleb, Ruben, Travis, Mallory, 20 homeowners. HOA side, empty table, no counsel. 3 board members in back looking miserable. 9 a.m. Judge Vickers enters. We rise. Then doors burst open. Deidre walks in with a kid who can't be 28. New lawyer, probably hired an hour ago. Black suit, oversized sunglasses indoors, severe bun. Funeral attire. She sits, doesn't look at anyone. The air feels charged, like before a thunderstorm breaks. Hearing begins. Lucia presents dissolution petition methodically. Point 1. HOA's insolvent. Owes $1.2 million, assets 0 post-foreclosure, embezzled funds. Point 2. Fraud documented via forensic audit, 240 stolen hidden accounts. Point 3. Common property now owned by Garrett Hollins. Insolvency statute allows dissolution. Relief requested. Dissolve HOA. Appoint receiver. Approve homeowner ratification vote. Deidre's lawyer stands, hands shaking. Your Honor, my client denies allegations. She's been a devoted servant. This is vendetta by Mr. Hollins. Judge Vickers. Counselor, evidence refuting forensic audit? Attorney, we're preparing our own audit. Judge, you've had 7 days' notice? Where is it? Attorney. It's forthcoming. Judge icily. Sit down. Deidre stands abruptly, against lawyers' whispered protests. Your Honor, may I speak? Judge. Highly irregular, but proceed. Deidre, voice rising. This is a sham. Garrett orchestrated this from the beginning. He never belonged in our HOA, and now he's stealing our neighborhood because courts are rigged. Murmurs in gallery. Gavel bangs. Deidre continues. I gave 3 years to that community. Worked 60-hour weeks. If I took compensation, I earned it. These people have no idea. Judge. Miss Kensington, you're not under oath, but I advise you to stop. Deidre spiraling. No, somebody needs to say it. Garrett's a bully manipulating. Side door opens. Detective Morrison enters with uniformed officer. Detective Morrison approaches the bench, hands Judge Vickers a document. She reads, looks at Deidre. Miss Kensington, there's an outstanding warrant for your arrest. Detective, proceed. Silence. You could hear a pin drop. Morrison's voice is calm, professional. Deidre Kensington, you're under arrest for felony embezzlement, fraud in the second degree, and perjury. You have the right to remain silent. Deidre's face drains white. You can't, I have rights. Voice cracking. Her lawyer looks like he wants to vanish. Morrison continues Miranda, unfazed. Uniformed officer steps forward with handcuffs. Garrett, Deidre screams, whipping toward me. You did this! You ruined my life! I'll appeal. I'll fight. You'll all regret. Morrison takes her arm gently. Cuffs click shut. The metallic sound echoes in the silent courtroom like a period at the end of a very long sentence. She's sobbing, mascara streaking. Officer guides her to side exit. Door closes. Muffled voice. This isn't over. Then silence. Judge Vickers adjusts her glasses. Well, that was instructive. Nervous laughs ripple through gallery. She clears her throat. Having reviewed evidence, financial records, forensic audit, affidavits, this court finds Pinewood Estates HOA demonstrably insolvent and engaged in systematic fraud. She eyes the 3 board members in back. They shrink. Petition for dissolution is granted. I appoint Lucia Brennan as receiver to wind down affairs and facilitate governance transition. Homeowner ratification vote proceeds within 30 days. Mr. Hollins's counterclaims for malicious prosecution and harassment are granted. Damages hearing scheduled separately. Gavel bangs. Adjourned. Courtroom erupts, not chaos. Celebration. Hugging, crying, clapping. Cheering spreads like wildfire. 20 people shake my hand, thank me, some crying. Elderly woman who lost her house grabs my arm. You gave me hope again. I didn't think I'd ever feel that. Tears streaming. Lucia's grinning, already coordinating next steps. Reuben bear hugs me. Brother, you took down a whole empire. Caleb films, laughing. Mallory's taking notes. 15,000 watch the live stream. Outside, reporters swarm. Camera flashes, microphones thrust forward. Reporter 1. Mr. Hollins, how does it feel? I choose words carefully. This isn't about winning. It's about 127 families getting their neighborhood back, making sure no one else gets steamrolled by corrupt bureaucracy. Reporter 2. What's next for Pinewood Estates? I glance at Lucia. We're forming a community land trust. Transparent, democratic, accountable. The way it should have been. Homeowners control their destiny now. Reporter 3. Message for others dealing with HOA abuse? I look into camera. Document everything, every letter, interaction, threat. Find allies, you're not alone. Don't back down because they have lawyers. Remember, bullies count on silence. Make noise. Police cruiser drives past. Deidre in backseat, sunglasses off, face streaked with tears, staring at nothing. I don't watch. I'm talking to homeowners, accepting thanks. The noon sun blazes off courthouse limestone. Plaza smells like hot concrete and victory. Church bell chimes 12 times. Reuben grins. Action movies have less dramatic endings. I laugh. Hollywood couldn't write a villain this self-destructive. Mallory taps phone. Netflix should call any minute. That evening, I'm on my porch, the one Deidre tried to find months ago. Daughter calls. Dad, you're everywhere. You okay? I watch sunset over my workshop. Better than okay, sweetheart. I'm free. We all are. Across the street, Travis and Mallory's kids play in the yard. No citation fear. No inspector anxiety. Just kids being kids. A neighbor I've never spoken to waves, actually smiles. But Deidre's arrest isn't the end. It's just the beginning of cleanup. Over the next 2 weeks, things move fast. Detective Morrison's investigation expands. He subpoenas records from the 3 foreclosed properties, discovers the board members who bought them used HOA funds to finance their bids. It's a closed loop of corruption. 2 board members are arrested. The 3rd flips, becomes state's witness. Local news runs daily updates. Former HOA president faces 10 years. Board members charged in foreclosure scheme. Pinewood families to get homes back. The story goes national. CNN picks it up, then NPR. I do one interview with NPR, then stop. This isn't about me. Lucia files motions to void the fraudulent foreclosure sales. Court agrees. 3 families get their homes back with clean titles. Deidre's LLC and co-conspirators forced to disgorge all profits. $240,000 split among victims. The elderly widow who lost her house gets her keys back, breaks down crying in Lucia's office. I thought I'd die homeless, thank you. Mallory's documentary, YouTube version, 30 minutes. Hits 2.3 million views in a week. Comments pour in. This happened to us in Phoenix. Our HOA did the same thing. How do we fight back? It sparks an HOA reform movement. 3 other Oklahoma neighborhoods use our template to dissolve corrupt HOAs. State legislator introduces HOA Transparency Act. Requires audits, open meetings, caps late fees. 30 days post-hearing, homeowner ratification vote held at Clubhouse. Turnout, 119 of 127 homes. Vote to dissolve HOA and transfer to trust. 114 yes, 5 no. The 5 no's, Deidre's former inner circle, bitter to the end. Dissolution finalized. HOA legally ceases to exist. Tomorrow real work begins. But tonight, we celebrate. The public climax actually happened in 2 waves. The courtroom arrest was wave 1. Wave 2 comes 3 weeks later, and it's the one that really matters to the community. We organize a town hall meeting, not in some sterile VFW rental, but in the Pinewood Estates clubhouse. The same clubhouse Deidre used to rent out for her real estate open houses while homeowners footed the bill. It's a Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m., and the parking lot's overflowing. People are parking on side streets, walking in. I count 140 people, more than the subdivision even has homes, because word spread, and folks from neighboring communities showed up too. Inside, we've set up a podium, microphone, projector screen. Local TV crews here, not for drama this time, but to document something historic. Mallory's in back with her camera. Ruben's at the door playing unofficial security, though the vibe isn't tense, it's electric, hopeful. I take the podium. The microphone squeals with feedback for a second before Travis adjusts it. The room smells like fresh paint. We repainted the clubhouse walls last week, covered up the pretentious beige with a warm cream color that actual humans voted on. 3 months ago, I moved to this neighborhood wanting one thing: peace. A place to build a workshop, spend time with my kids when they visit, maybe grill some burgers on weekends. Instead, I got fines, threats, police called on me, and a lien on my property. Murmurs of recognition. Half the room's been through similar. But here's what I learned. When systems are broken, you don't fix them by asking nicely. You fix them by building something better. I click the projector. First slide, the old HOA's financials, redacted to protect privacy, but the numbers tell the story. Under the previous board, you paid $385 a month. Where'd that money go? I advance slides. $18,000 to Deidre's LLC for management services we didn't need. $47,000 in legal fees, fighting homeowners over garden gnomes and mailbox colors. $140,000 just missing. Embezzled. The room's silent, but it's an angry silence. Here's what the Pinewood Commons Trust proposes. Next slide, simple budget breakdown. $45 a month, that's it. Covers pool maintenance, landscaping for common areas, liability insurance, and a small emergency fund. No salaries for board members, this is volunteer service. Every dollar accounted for, budget posted online monthly, receipts available on request, open meetings live streamed. Any expenditure over $5,000 requires homeowner vote. I pause, let it sink in. That's an 88% reduction in dues. And unlike before, you'll actually know where your money goes. Applause starts in back. Ruben, predictably, then spreads. It builds into a standing ovation. I wait for it to die down. But there's more. We're not just fixing finances. We're fixing the culture. Next slide, new community rules. No more fines for paint colors. No more citations for kids' toys in yards. No more threatening letters over patio furniture. If something's actually dangerous, structural hazard, fire risk, we address it like neighbors, not like cops. More applause. An older man in the third row stands. What about the families who lost homes? Are they really getting them back? I nod to Lucia. She steps up. 3 families have already received their properties with clear titles. Deidre's LLC and co-conspirators were forced to return them plus damages. 2 more families are in final paperwork stages. By end of month, everyone she stole from will be made whole. The room explodes. People crying, hugging. The elderly widow who got her house back is here. She stands, waving, and gets her own ovation. Travis takes the mic next. We've also set up something new. The Pinewood Opportunity Fund, slide changes, scholarship program details. Using the $75,000 in damages the court awarded Garrett, who donated it entirely. We're funding 2 $5,000 a year scholarships for neighborhood kids. Renewable for 4 years. First awards go out next month. Parents are wiping tears. Mallory steps up. And we're not keeping this local. The documentary's been viewed over 2 million times now. We've been contacted by 43 HOAs nationwide facing similar issues. We're creating a resource hub, legal templates, organizing guides, everything we learned, available free online. Cheers. Then I bring up the trust board candidates. 7 seats, 22 people ran. Elections were last week, online voting, verified by email, completely transparent. I read the results. A retired teacher, a nurse, a mechanic, a small business owner, a stay-at-home dad, an engineer, and a college student home for summer. Diverse. Representing the actual community. Each stands as I call their name. They get applause, no one boos, no one objects. This is what democracy looks like when it's not rigged. I close with this. 4 months ago, Deidre Kensington told me I didn't belong here. She was wrong, we all belong here. And now finally, this neighborhood belongs to us. The room erupts one final time. Not polite applause, roaring, foot-stomping, whistle-blowing celebration. The sound reverberates off the clubhouse walls like thunder, and through the windows I can see kids playing outside on the playground equipment that almost got sighted into oblivion. Afterwards, we don't rush out. People stay for hours, talking, laughing, making plans. Someone brings a grill. Someone else brings a cooler of drinks. It turns into an impromptu block party. The clubhouse that used to symbolize oppression now hosts the freest gathering this neighborhood's ever seen. Reuben finds me around sunset, hands me a beer. You did good, brother. I shake my head. We did good, all of us. He clinks his bottle against mine. To freedom from petty tyrants. I smile. And to never becoming one ourselves. 30 days after the town hall, the Pinewood Commons Trust is fully operational. First board meeting happens on a Wednesday evening, live streamed like promised. 120 people tune in. The new board's first action, set dues at $45 monthly, 88% reduction from Deidre's regime. Second action, repeal every cosmetic rule in the old covenant. Paint your house purple if you want. Put a garden gnome army in your yard. Live your life. The community garden breaks ground 2 weeks later. 2 acres on trust land, open to all residents. 20 families sign up first day. By summer, it's producing tomatoes, peppers, squash, herbs. Surplus goes to the Tulsa Food Bank. 300 pounds in the first season. An elderly veteran who fought in Vietnam plants a memorial rose garden in one corner. Kids help water it after school. The Pinewood Opportunity Fund awards its first scholarships in May. 2 recipients, a girl heading to nursing school whose family almost lost their home to Deidre's fines, and a boy who wants to study engineering, says Garrett inspired him. I attend the ceremony. Try not to cry. Fail. Deidre pleads guilty in July to avoid trial. Sentencing in August. 3 years state prison. $240,000 in restitution. 5 years probation after release. Real estate license permanently revoked. Her house in Pinewood sells at foreclosure auction for 60% of what she paid. Buyers are a young couple with a toddler. They're thrilled to join a neighborhood without an HOA. The irony's not lost on anyone. Local paper runs a retrospective. Former HOA president jailed for fraud she once inflicted on others. Deidre's mugshot next to a photo of the community garden. The contrast says everything. 2 board members who participated in the foreclosure scheme get 18 months each. The third, who cooperated, gets probation and community service. All 3 banned from ever serving on an HOA board again. The ripple effect continues. Oklahoma State Legislature passes the HOA Transparency Act in November. Bipartisan support, signed by the governor. Requires annual audits, open meetings, caps late fees at $50, mandates proper notice for boundary changes. It's nicknamed Garrett's Law in some circles, though I had nothing to do with writing it. Lucia did most of that heavy lifting. 3 more Oklahoma neighborhoods dissolve corrupt HOAs using our template. Then 2 in Texas, 1 in Arizona. Mallory's documentary gets optioned by a streaming service. She's working on a 6-episode series. I declined to be heavily involved. This story's bigger than me now. My workshop's finally finished. I'm teaching weekend metalworking classes for neighborhood kids and adults. 12 students so far. We're building a pergola for the community garden next month. My son visited over Christmas, and we built a bookshelf together on the lathe. My daughter came for Thanksgiving. She said, "Dad, you found your purpose after the Army." Maybe she's right. The legal defense fund I seeded with $25,000 from the court award has grown to $70,000 through donations. We've helped 4 families in other states fight HOA abuse. One woman in Phoenix emails me. Her HOA tried to foreclose over $400 in dues. We connected her with a lawyer. She won. Keeps her home. Ruben and I still drink beer on my porch most evenings. We watch the neighborhood kids play. Watch neighbors actually talk to each other now. Watch the community heal. "You ever regret it?" he asks one night. "All the stress, the legal bills, the threats?" I think about it. Not for a second. Spring arrives. The 150-year-old oak in my front yard blooms. Its branches don't creak like a ship anymore. They sway gently, almost peacefully, like they're finally at rest. I'm sitting under it one Saturday when a car pulls up. Young couple, maybe late 20s. They get out, look around nervously. "Are you Garrett Hollins?" the woman asks. I stand, wipe sawdust off my hands. "That's me." She glances at her husband, then back. "We just bought a house 3 blocks over. Our realtor said, she said you're the reason this neighborhood doesn't have an HOA anymore. We wanted to say thank you. We were priced out of everywhere else because of HOA fees." I shake their hands. "Welcome to Pinewood. You're gonna love it here." And as they drive off, smiling, I realize this is what victory actually looks like. Not a courtroom drama or a villain in handcuffs, though those help. Real victory is people living free from fear, kids playing without citations, neighbors trusting each other, systems serving people instead of crushing them. I came here to build a workshop and live in peace. I got both eventually, but I also got something better, a community worth fighting for. So here's my question for you. Got an HOA nightmare story? Drop it in the comments. You're not alone, and your story matters. Maybe together, we can shine a light on the next Deidre before she destroys another neighborhood. And if you want to see more stories about everyday people taking down corrupt systems, hit that subscribe button. Next time, a homeowner in Florida who discovered her HOA president was running a Ponzi scheme. You won't believe what she did about it. Thanks for watching, and remember, make noise.